Good day and welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. So we're glad to have you today. With us, we're very pleased to announce as well as have Erin Rodiger with the MS National Multiple Sclerosis Society. And she's the Development Coordinator and Special Events over all of those action programs with MS, and we're very happy to have you here today with us. Now, you're with the Arizona chapter here within Arizona, so you're based out of the Phoenix area, correct?
Yes, I am based out of the Phoenix area. That's where our main office is, but we do have people who are based in Tucson and a person up here in Prescott, so we cover the whole state.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, also with us today is Hezekiah Allen. Hez is our Recreation Services Supervisor for the City of Cottonwood, and we're going to be talking bicycle.
Yes,
and as we look
power.
as we look at May, May in Arizona is kind of one of those time periods where there's a lot of biking activities, and one of those is Bike MS. And so we're going to be getting into that and what exactly Bike MS is for both Arizona, the region, Southwest, as well as Cottonwood, Verde Valley, and Sedona. And so we'll get a little bit more information here directly from Erin as we move forward. And first off, I wanted to kind of get a little bit of an idea for those of you who do not know, the City of Cottonwood hosts the statewide Bike MS Ride the Vortex, which is the bicycling event which will be held here in Cottonwood. Actually, we stage here in Cottonwood at the Verde Valley Fairgrounds and the Kids Park Field facilities. It'll be on Saturday, May 17th and Sunday, May 18th. So it's a two-day program and event for bicyclists throughout the state as well as nationwide. From what my understanding is, people come from nationwide throughout in order to participate in this program and support MS and the Multiple Sclerosis Society, excuse me. So as we've talked over the past 6 to 7 months, and I know this is something we've constantly been harping on, as well as we've been kind of promoting on a continuous basis. You've stood by us through all of this, but we continue to talk about active and healthy lifestyles, and this is just one of those events that is in the Cottonwood area, and it's a opportunity for people to participate, not only in the participatory category, but also volunteer. And so we're seeking volunteers. So if you would like to, we'll be talking about a little bit of that also as to what you can do in order to volunteer for this incredible program for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. So today we're talking about the major bicycling event in our community as we look at the ride itself and where it's going to be headed and going. And Erin, the first thing I kind of want to get into a little bit is branching off into your job, because it sounds like quite an interesting job. And how long have you been in your job now?
It will almost be a year come the event weekend.
That's great. So you've actually almost had almost a 2-year background in this program then, pretty close to it.
Yeah, I've done event planning and multi-day fundraising events for about 10 years now.
So tell us a little bit about your job. What does it entail?
Yeah, so with this society, my job is predominantly focusing on the Bike MS event. So what that includes is recruiting riders who participated in the past and getting new riders to come. So also creating websites, marketing materials, and then also working with the cities that we are riding through. So Cottonwood, Sedona, Yavapai County, all of them coordinating that so our event is successful and that our riders are safe. So that is my job, short and sweet.
Pretty extensive, and I know that to be true. So I mean, when you're working statewide programming and you're trying to get multiple cities as well as the counties involved, as well as working through the parameters of permits and obligations and everything else that goes on. It's an incredibly extensive job. So thank you for stepping up in that context of things, Erin. It's great to have you on board. So what brought you into this job and why?
Yeah, I have been, like I said, working in multi-day fundraising events for a couple years now, and so I really enjoy working at nonprofits. It's a passion of mine to make the world a better place. So working with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society allows me to do just that. And we get to help our local community while also helping, nationwide and globally, those people who are living with MS. So
right.
That's
Do you have kind of an idea of how many people in Arizona are actually affected by this horrific disease?
Yeah, right now we have an estimate around 8,000 people are living with multiple sclerosis here in Arizona, and over 45,000 are affected by it. So that's family members or siblings, parents, everybody those who are dealing with their family members who have multiple sclerosis. So.
Well, I know two people that are close to us as friends, and they have MS, and so it is a very debilitating disease, and it affects their livelihood, it affects their lifestyles, and also parenting, etc. It just is really harsh and hard, and so as they walk through this. Tell us, how is the MS Society making a difference with this disease at this time?
Yeah, so the National MS Society is a really great organization because they're really focusing, and their mission is to obviously create a world without MS.
That's correct. That's good.
So, but until that day comes and we find a cure, they really focus on research and scientific studies, and then also making sure that anyone who has MS is living as healthy and independent as possible. So beyond just the research, there is also the local programming that we do to make sure everyone's engaged and involved and knows what's going on nationwide and also locally with the society.
Oh, that's great, because that was my other question about you is, how do you affect things locally on the local level?
Yeah.
So you do. So it is definitely one of those things you try to help people throughout the state, but it is on those local levels that we reach out to people and that are in need. What does the MS branch do here locally? Do you know? Or I mean, is it something that, you said that there's one out of the Prescott area, so I'm sure that they're in the area here too on this side of the mountain.
Yeah. So locally, statewide, we do a lot of different things. We have a lot of different events. The bike event is just one of them. We have walks. That's kind of on the development side, and then on programming, we do a lot of different things with regards to providing small groups. So those are run by individuals, and so we have groups that are just dominated for females or just men. It's boys' night out or no boys allowed, and then 20s, 30s. So different small groups that, focus on each person's stage with the MS or their what they enjoy doing. And then in Prescott, we have a walk. So we're also looking to expand some of our fundraising in Prescott. And our outreach coordinator up here, she does a lot of different coordinating with the hospitals to get some other programming. We have a Free from Falls program, which people with MS struggle with falling.
They do.
And so I guess it's a great way to learn how to fall better and safer, so it's not as harmful to you. And then also building that core. So, we have a Pilates instructor that leads that. So there's a lot of different opportunities. In Tucson, we have a swim program with people with MS that can get in the pool and do some exercising. So just really, runs the gamut of different programming we have here and what we're able to do. And just a couple weeks ago, we had the Multiple Sclerosis Day of Service. And so we went out and we helped people who have MS who can't do maybe some daily activities like mowing the lawn or painting a wall, all those types of things. So we went out and volunteered and helped those people to accomplish those tasks. So it just really is all over the board what we're able to do.
So this isn't just affecting then just in Arizona. There's groups in every single state that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's I think 46 different chapters throughout the nation.
Very dynamic. That's incredible. So it's good. That's tremendous, especially if there's 8,000 to 9,000 people that are affected in this state alone. Then there's got to be about the same in all of the other states. So again, it's a very big help in what you guys do, and what you're doing is just an incredible opportunity for these people. So now this is actually the third year that Bike MS has been in this locale, and I know that they've been throughout Arizona. I know that in the Florence area then for about 3 to 4 years, and so the bike rides have been going on for how long then, Erin?
Yeah, this will be our 28th year.
28th year, okay.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yes.
And now tell us about the riders. The riders are coming in from not just the state, but a predominance from outside the state, correct?
I mean, we're generally actually a lot of local people, but from all over. We have groups from Prescott, Flagstaff. We have a rider coming from Williams, down from Tucson groups, and then a lot from obviously the Valley that are coming up. But we have people coming in from Texas, people coming in from California. So when you have the Vortex and the beautiful red rocks in the Verde Valley, it is quite a draw. So we do have quite a few people coming in from elsewhere.
Well, I know that a lot of the individuals that actually are riding when they actually give to this program in this context, they're giving, but they're writers that have been doing this for many years. I'm pretty sure a lot of them have. And then you actually have first-time writers. So I think that's one of the things we're going to get into as to, what this is about, how you can be involved, and who you need to contact. I know on the screen right now is bikeaza.nationalmssociety.org, and so they can find out more information also. But we'll get into more here in just a second. We're going to be taking a break for a minute, and we'll be welcoming you back here with Aaron and also with Hez as we get more detail and information on the MS bike ride.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. And again, we're hosting today's program with Aaron Rodiger and the MS Society, our Bike MS program here in the Verde Valley, staging at the Verde Valley Fairgrounds and the Cottonwood Kids Park. And we're going to get into a little bit more of this. Aaron, as we've been discussing the MS bike event coming to the community on Saturday and Sunday, May 17th and 18th, let me just read a statement here because it's pretty good. It gives a little bit more information as to what the Bike MS is. And I love the Bike MS logo because it actually has the slash through the MS. As we're trying to, hash it out and get it out of our lives. But at Bike MS, it's not just the miles that matter, it's the unforgettable experience. You feel the electricity at the start, you notice the carbon frame on your left, the tandem ahead, and the recumbent bike on your right. You glance back at your teammates as you click into your pedals and settle into the saddle. You know you're going places you've never been. Don't just ride. Bike MS. Join us for Bike MS, Ride the Vortex, Sedona Verde Valley, Arizona's premier cycling event. And there are route options for every level of cyclist, ranging from 30 to 100 miles. And so you will surely find a route fit for you. Come enjoy delicious meals, strong support with frequent rest stops. When you finish, a fantastic festival awaits you with great food, music, a beer garden, massage tent, and fun games. And again, enjoy a ride in a backdrop of some of the most spectacular scenic areas in the world. And again, don't just ride Bike MS. And I think that pretty much sets the stage as we look at, it's not just a ride, it's Bike MS, and we're doing it for a reason here, and you guys have an incredible event. But that really kind of sets the stage here is what we talk about a little bit more moving into this. Aaron, tell our viewer audience exactly what Bike MS is and what it promotes and supports then.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little bit, but get into that a little bit more as to MS then.
Yeah, well, it's a 2-day bike ride, so it's different from, it's not a race. We're not here about the start and the finish times. We're here about making a difference. And so each person who participates in our event agrees to fundraise. So each person fundraises $250. That's the minimum. But we have people who go way beyond it. Some people are able to raise $10,000 and beyond. So some really dedicated people who are passionate to the cause, not just to the cycling. So I think that's what makes our event really unique. And that money is making a huge difference in the lives of people here in the States and also nationally. So I think that's what our event is special about. And so the feeling on the ride is more than just, how fast am I going? It's about helping each other and helping others. So
Well, that's a good definition and a way to put it. I know that the city of Cottonwood has a team, and they're actually going when they go to the meetings, when we have our various management meetings or supervisory meetings or department head meetings. That's one of the things that they're set on is can you help support? You know, and we're doing this right at the table. So if anybody has any money, put it out there. But I know last year was really pretty interesting, even because Doug Bartosh, our city manager, was involved with the city manager from Sedona, Tim Ernster, and they were competing as to who could actually get the most money for MS. And I think that those are great, and it just is really awesome to see that. Erin, what makes this ride different from other cycling events and rides throughout the United States?
Yeah, I think what's great is that, again, it's not a race, and so you can come and do what you're capable of doing. It's not necessarily, no one's asking you, how many miles are you riding, and holding you to that. You can go out there and do your best, and that's what's the most important part of this event. And it's fully supported. There are rest stops every 15 to 13 miles with, amazing snacks and food and Gatorade and water. And there's SAG vehicles, which are support and gear vehicles that go around and making sure that you're doing okay and checking on you. So if you get a flat, they can pick you up, or if you get a little scrape or something, they're there to provide that to you. So I think that's really a special part of our event. And then also we have a fun, entertainment there that we're starting on Friday night this year, building some cool atmosphere. And then also on Saturday, there's a really enjoyable, great time, like you mentioned, with the festival that starts after. So it's a full weekend event, and it builds community, which, not all the times that you see out there when you're just doing a race. This is everyone's coming together and working to accomplish a major goal. So
there's the actual festivals afterwards and everything. People can just relax and enjoy themselves, have fun. I read in there that there's, can you tell us how long some of the rides are, or where they actually go? And I know we said Sedona, and the beauty of the Sedona area, the beauty of the Cottonwood area, is you're riding around is just phenomenal. So this ride takes you through those areas, correct?
Yeah, so we have different options of mileage on both days. So day one, we have about a 90-mile ride, and 70 and 50. And then day two, we have a 50 and 30. So really anyone at different skills levels can participate. Day one, we get to ride through Cottonwood and then head up into Sedona and the Red Rocks, and goes up into the national parks, and then come down to near Montezuma as well, and then come back through Cornville. So it's really pretty. You get the whole, the valleys and the Red Rocks. And then day two, we get to go through Page Springs, which of course is gorgeous with the wineries. Hopefully our cyclists don't stop over there, because
they can hit those afterwards.
Yes, exactly. It's just a tourist drive-by. So it's really beautiful to get to go through there and then again come back through and head into Clarkdale. So it's they get to see the whole Verde Valley. There's not really anywhere we don't ride.
Right, and we really do. We feel that this is one of the most beautiful areas of Arizona.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of tourists that come here and throughout this area, and that's the same ride that a lot of people actually take in their car, and this actually is by bike, and you get to actually experience it. Now, Erin, how many riders are you expecting then?
Yeah, we're expecting about 700 riders, and so that's what we're expecting to see out here. So. On those days.
That was pretty close to what they had last year then, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, and so you don't have to be an experienced rider, as you stated. Again, this is for the MS Society. This is for fun. This is for one of those things for promoting MS, and so you don't have to be experienced. And so, and you identified that there are categories. So I understand that. And so are there any other options for riders? I mean, if that's something that you can explain.
Yeah, so there's different routes. So you can decide which mileage is best for you depending on what you feel like you're doing. And you can actually change your mind out there on the route. You get out there and your legs are feeling amazing and you want to do the 90, or you get out there and your legs are not cooperating with what you had hoped, you can always just choose to do the 50.
Okay.
And then we have the options with regards to, we have teams. As you mentioned, there's the City of Cottonwood team, and there's like a Prescott bike team. We have different corporation teams that are coming up from Phoenix, or it can be individual rider. It's really, you know, it just depends. You don't have to be on a team to do this event, and you know, everyone's, once you get up here, is a family and a community, and everyone's there riding along, supporting you. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Now I know with the size and the caliber of this program, because it is huge, and it really is, and it's big, and it's for a 2-day program. You're going to need people to assist and volunteer.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the different ways that people can participate in assisting and volunteering for this ride and this program.
Yeah, so volunteers, you know, there's only a few staff members. There's like 8 of us. So we can't be everywhere at all places. So volunteers are key to the success of this event. So volunteers can help out on the route at rest stops, handing out oranges, you know, giving out Gatorade. So that's a great way for them to volunteer. Also, we need volunteers at the Cottonwood Kids Park, cheering riders as they come in across the finish line, handing out medals. I mean, that's the best job out there. Serving food to our riders, you know, if they come in starving, making sure they have a healthy lunch and dinner. So there's all different ways that people can volunteer. So we would love to get the community as much involved to come support our riders.
So before we take a break here, and as we take a look at this, so what will people, or I think the main thing is, what will they need to bring with them if they're planning on participating, and then where do they need to go in order to sign up?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're planning on riding, a bike is pretty important. Plus your helmet, because again, safety is key. And a water bottle is the main things that you will need. And if you're coming to volunteer, we just need a smile is all we're asking for. And then a great place to learn more about the event is bikemsarizona.org. And you can register there, and you can also sign up to volunteer there.
Okay, and can they sign up on the day of also?
To volunteer, they definitely can. We will never turn away a helping hand. And if they want to register to ride, you know, they can come Friday night and register, or you can come Saturday morning. But just there is that fundraising minimum of the $250. So.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. All right then. Thank you for that information. And again, we're going to be taking a break now. And again, I wanted to thank Erin specifically for her time to come up from the Phoenix area in order to give us additional information about this tremendous opportunity that either you can participate in and experience personally on riding, and again, it's one of those where you can relax, but again, giving to MS, which is just an incredible opportunity for everyone, or you can volunteer, which they definitely need volunteers. So we're going to go ahead and take a 1-minute break before we get into other bicycling programs here in Cottonwood, and I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. We'll be right back.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about bicycling and, of course, the month of May and what we have going on here. And so our final segment today is we're going to be talking with Hez Allen, Recreation Services Supervisor for the City of Cottonwood. Hez, we have an ongoing bicycle group that meets once a month.
Yes.
In conjunction with the City of Cottonwood. Can you explain to our viewers what that program is and what it is that they're doing for our community?
Yeah, definitely. The BAC stands for the Bicycle Advisory Committee, and it's made up of passionate individuals within the Verde Valley that really feel cycling is it's an old concept, but a revolutionary idea. For example, the thought of lowering emissions and making a healthier community, connectivity, and bringing the youth and the adults together is revolutionary, and they're excited to bring that to the community in advisory capacity.
That's great. I know that not only do we have transportation within our city and actually interconnecting between the city of Cottonwood and Sedona, but now there's a connection also for our transit program actually from Camp Verde up to Cottonwood and back to Camp Verde, and they can get off and they can actually take the bus then directly to Sedona and back. But this is also one of those where, you know, we look at green pursuits for avenues of transportation, and this is another one. And this is bicycling. Besides your walking or hiking or whatever, you can bike and do all kinds of things in Cottonwood. So tell us what the BAC mission statement is and what are the goals of the BAC within our community.
That's great. The Bicycle Advisory Committee exists to provide recommendations concerning safety, commerce, and programs promoting the cycling atmosphere in Cottonwood, resulting in reduced emissions, a healthier community, and a stronger economy. That's kind of like the bare bones of what the BAC does. Obviously, there's more to that within the leagues of bicycles and also individually with each one of those members. Their goals, especially for this upcoming year, connectivity, bike maps, things of that sort, more youth programs, education. It's an ongoing process.
It is, and it's really great. Now, I know that the BAC meets once a month.
They do.
And they're actually kind of interconnected into where they are structured underneath the Parks and Recreation Commission, but they provided advice and support then to the Parks and Recreation Commission and the City Council through that. Can you give us an idea of what a bicycle-friendly community is? Because I know that that's one of the things that BAC is working on.
Exactly. And there is a lot that goes into it, and we've spent countless hours researching it because each one of the members have their specific area that they enjoy, whether it's road biking, mountain biking, pump tracks, or things of that sort. So to get a universal mission and vision for this group is key, and we kind of use the Bicycle Advisory League to build it off of with the 5 E's: engineering, education, encouragement, enforcement, evaluation, and planning, to build it off to allow a base structure for evaluation to move forward. And then we kind of set a strategic plan for the following year based on where we've been in the past with the goal of reaching the next level, which is silver.
So we're at a bronze level at this time in our community.
We're at a bronze.
And I know that Sedona's a silver. And, and you can actually go bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum.
Yeah, and we're not competitive. Okay, maybe we are.
Maybe we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we want platinum at this point.
Sure.
So our goal is to beat Sedona by 2.
There we go again.
Exactly.
That's great. Okay, so tell us what Bicycle Awareness Month is and what does that mean for our citizens?
Okay, Bicycle Awareness Month, the National Bike, it started in 1956, the organization, and with the premise of promoting bicycle awareness, bicycle safety. It's kind of evolved since then to transportation, connectivity, education, and this month is all about, if you don't ride on a regular basis already, dust your bike off, because that's what we're asking. The Mayor's Ride is on May 3rd. There's different programs throughout the month of May. The Mayor's Ride kind of kicks that off, along with the bike rodeo on May 3rd following the Mayor's Ride. This all kind of happens from Garrison Park in the morning. May 12th through the 16th is Bike to Work Week. I personally feel that's kind of imperative because we live in Cottonwood. Nobody's too far out that they can't ride to work. If you work in Cottonwood, it's all within like a 4-mile radius.
Right.
So, and you'd be amazed how much gas you save by doing that, just riding to work. And then you get to work and you're refreshed. You saw the sun come up. Balloons are in Sedona, so it's just beautiful. May 21st is the Ride of Silence. For those riders we've lost during the pursuit of betterment, we can kind of celebrate them, and that happens from Riverfront Park at 5 p.m.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I know that I know working at the recreation center, we see bicycles pull up a lot, and so they're biking to the rec center. They're then working out at the rec center, or they're visiting the rec center for other purposes, because we've actually ingrained into our community this is a social hub at the recreation center. So we're moving directly into that, which is really neat to see all the bicyclists all over the place.
Yeah.
And so, as well as all of the kids riding bicycles all around the recreation center.
Right, drive slow through that parking lot.
Exactly, that's one of the big things. It's because it is full of people and kids. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. Pardon me. So where can people within our community get additional information on bicycling and everything that's going on here in the month of May with bicycle awareness?
They can contact the Cottonwood Recreation Center and then ask for Hezekiah and myself, and then we can kind of disperse the information during our monthly meetings with the BAC. Again, it is a volunteer group base at this time, as most of them are throughout the state and the nation. One of the big things we're working right now in the future is the bike map, which shows the different routes within the community, the contacts, the businesses that are bicycle friendly. Not that they all are not, but here are the ones where you can park your bike. They have a place where you can lock it up. And so that's going to help get additional information out there.
That's great. Now, are we doing anything in particular in the Old Town area also? Because I know a lot of people love to go down there. There's a lot of wine tasting. There's a lot of places to go eat that are incredible places. There's other places throughout the city that you can visit also that are that have their own places, and as well as eating establishments everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we're actually then trying to establish also.
Yeah, through Old Town and also the bicycle lockup areas.
Right.
The city's working on that feverishly, trying to get the branding done, the moving into actually what they're going to look like, how we're going to make them, and then having them placed strategically throughout the community. Old Town is also an area which it's kind of the hub and the start to the Verde River Trail, the jail trail. They're working on the parking lot there. That's the entrance to Dead Horse State Park, BLM land. A lot of cycling to do out there.
All right.
So.
Well, we do. We have an awful lot going on again in the month of May with bicycles, and so we've given you just a touch of it as to what's transpiring and happening. So if you're interested in Bike MS, please call the Bike MS or you know the information that you've had on your screen directly with the website. You can contact the City of Cottonwood if you have questions pertaining to Bike MS also, and that's at 928-639-3200. They'll have more information for you as well. If you have any aspirations to volunteer, the same thing. You want to volunteer for city programs, or if you want more information on the Bicycle Action Committee, as well as what we're doing here locally within the community on trying to interconnect, as well as to work out details associated with bicycling within our community, please contact the Parks and Recreation Department also at that same telephone number. So at this point in time, we'd like to thank you for watching us here, as well as joining us today and throughout this month of bicycle awareness, bicycle Bike MS, and everything that's going on in the month of May. So thank you again for joining us today with Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. Have a good day.